Welcome to next session of signals and system. Last time we were referring the concept of e raised to j theta, then e raised to j omega t and all that. Now while discussing the properties of differentiation and all these things, we came to a very peculiar thing. What would be in general j e raised to either j omega t or j theta in general. So we had discussed that what is e raised to j omega t or e raised to j theta for that matter. E raised to j theta we discussed in very much detail that is a point on unit circle at an angle theta from the horizontal axis, reference axis or x-axis it may be, or real axis at a distance of 1, radius 1. Now when we multiplied by another number, that time we discussed we multiplied by r, where r is a real number. When we multiply by r e raised to j theta, then it is a point on a circle of radius r at an angle theta. So the alternative form of representing a complex number in polar coordinates is fulfilled by r, that is the radius, that is the distance from origin, and theta is the angle, r e raised to j theta. So we developed with e raised to j theta. To that we multiplied by r, and that time I had said that r is a real number. But what actually should happen is, once in fact the engineering students especially, and the two from Walchand College, should be so much curious that when I say that I am multiplying it by number r, at that time I say that it is a real number. Immediate reaction from you should be of a rejection, means why I am restricting it to a real number? What will happen if it is not a real number? When it is not a real number, it can be imaginary number, or it can be in general a complex number. It can be an imaginary number or it can be a complex number. So if it happens so, we go with two parts. I will explain it with so much detail that as I had stated that the concept of complex exponential representation of signals would be embossed on your mental plane like a tattoo. So we multiply by r. Now we multiply by some imaginary number, and that time we had said last time j e raised to j theta. When it is j e raised to j theta, then this I can instantly, then now it would be when I don't multiply, it is multiplication is unity, so I say it's unit circle, a circle of radius 1. When I multiply by a real number, it is circle of radius r. Now in j e raised to j theta, it is neither 1 nor a real number but an imaginary number j. So what would be, if we apply same logic, the constant with which you are multiplying e raised to j theta is radius of the circle. So it would be a circle of radius j. So a concept of what is difference between a unit circle and a circle of radius j, that question we need to answer. Now in answering this question, we can go by simple logic. You use your first identity, that e raised to j theta is cos theta plus j sin theta, so it becomes as j cos theta plus, or j into cos theta plus j sin theta is your j raised to j theta. So it is j cos theta plus j square minus sin theta. So real part is minus 1, or real part that you can say minus sin theta plus j into cos theta. So what will happen? That the j e raised to j theta will become minus sin theta plus j cos theta. So what is that? Minus sine theta plus j cos theta. So where that would be located? We are not in a hurry. Each and every concept I will explain in detail without rushing through. So minus sine theta. So what I will do? Let there be. We can take some theta and we represent. I will draw a unit circle first. So this concept should be very much clear with you. So first I will draw a unit circle. This is unit circle. Now I will say the one point P is represented by e raised to j theta. So let this be theta. So this is theta. This is point P, where this is cos theta and this is sin theta. This is cos theta. Now I want to represent new point Q, which is given by j e raised to j theta. J e raised to j theta. And it's j e raised to j theta, we just simplified it as j into bracket cos theta plus j sin theta. This is, we just wrote down, so minus sin theta, real part, horizontal part, plus j cos theta. So where Q will lie? Q will lie whose real part is minus sin theta. So this much distance on real axis. So that would be here. And this much distance is on this much distance. I need to take it this much. So this much distance on vertical axis. So this would be, you can very easily note down, this would be a very symmetric same rectangle. This would be a same rectangle. This circle is not a perfect circle while drawing, so some kind of error may be there. So this distance here and this distance here, so this will become, so this rectangle will be rectangle like this, and this is the point Q. This is the point Q. Now obviously, if you draw a diagonal like this, then I think this can be a good question to find this angle. And obviously there is no need to do any kind of research. Obviously you can also have used the trigonometric identities in which you were masters once upon a time, of cos theta, cos pi by 2 plus theta, sin pi by 2 plus theta. So in fact actually sin theta, this I can say as cos minus sin theta is am I correct? This is cos pi by 2 plus theta plus j, and cos theta is sin pi by 2 plus theta. So this is e raised to j pi by 2 plus theta. So multiplying, or to be very, how we can, so I explained it by actual construction. This angle is pi by 2 or 90 degrees. I explained by this method, and there is one more method. What is the question? P is equal to e raised to j theta, one point. Q is equal to j into e raised to j theta. what is Z? Z is this point. Can I say that Z itself is a point on unit circle at an angle 90? Z is a point on unit circle at an angle 90. So I write one identity which I think everybody will agree. There is nothing new, no research. Z is equal to e raised to Z pi by 2. Is it right? Once we accept this identity, I can write Z as q equal to e raised to Z pi by 2 into e raised to Z theta. So it is e raised to Z pi by 2 plus theta. So if I multiply by Z, what happens is the point shifts on unit circle. So e raised to Z theta, if I multiply by a real number, point moves in the same direction r times. Means it moves on a circle of radius r with same angle theta. If I multiply by imaginary number Z, then it remains on same circle and rotates by angle pi by 2. Now what if I multiplied by a complex number? So e raised to Z theta is a complex number. If I multiply by another complex number, so we must have all kinds of discussions ready with us, so that at no point of time there should be any kind of confusion about the exponential representation of signals. So e raised to Z theta, if I multiply by constant A, where A can be real, if A is real, radius of circle changes. If A is imaginary, the radius of circle changes, angle remains same. If A is imaginary, radius remains 1, angle changes. If A is complex, or instead of A, I use the word C, constant C, and C is A plus ZB. E raised to Z theta. If C is complex, A plus ZB e raised to Z theta. What does it actually mean? C is complex. I can also say that A plus ZB can also be expressed as under root A square plus B square under root. What is A plus ZB? A plus ZB is this point. This is A, this is B. So A plus ZB is this point. A plus ZB. Under root A square plus B square and angle of tan inverse of B by A. Tan inverse of B upon A. So this I can also say as under root A square plus B square e raised to tan inverse of Z tan inverse of B by A. So when I multiply it by this, it becomes A square plus B square under root e raised to Z into bracket tan inverse of B upon A plus theta. Tan inverse of B upon A plus theta. So multiplying e raised to Z theta, another complex number is also e raised to Z something. Another complex number is also some real number into e raised to Z something. So that is possible. So in general now we go for the concept of phasor. So in case of what is phasor? phasor is a point rotating on a circle with uniform angular speed of omega. So if theta changes with time in a uniform manner, in that case theta is omega t. So e raised to j omega t is a phasor. E raised to j omega t is a rotating point on unit circle with an angular speed of omega in an anti-clockwise manner. E raised to j omega t is a, now listen very carefully, and tell me whether what I say is complete. E raised to j omega t represents a rotating point on unit circle with an angular speed of omega radians per second in anti-clockwise direction. E raised to j omega t म्हणजे ओमेगा इतक्या अँग्युलर कॉन्स्टंट अँग्युलर स्पीडनं घड्याळाच्या काट्याच्या विरुद्ध दिशेमध्ये युनिट सर्कलवर फिरणारा पॉइंट. इज इट युनिक or something, म्हणजे e raised to, or will you say that any point which is rotating on unit circle with angular speed of omega in anti-clockwise direction is always e raised to j omega t? Whether this description is complete? You can think over it, you can pause, think over, then resume the video. The answer is no, because one more thing is to be said. What is j e raised to j omega t? J e raised to j omega t is actually e raised to j into bracket omega t, e raised to j into bracket omega t. J is e raised to j pi by 2. So this would be e raised to j into bracket omega t plus pi by 2. So the thing in bracket is changing continuously with omega. So what is the difference between these two? This one means only e raised to j omega t and e raised to j omega t plus pi by 2. What is the difference? Both are rotating point. Remember it very clearly. Both are rotating points on unit circle with an angular speed of omega in anti-clockwise direction, but both points are different. Both points are not same. Both points are different, but these are the points rotating on unit circle with an angular speed of omega radians per second in anti-clockwise direction. Both are the points rotating in anti-clockwise direction with an angular speed of omega on unit circle, but these are different because at t equal to 0, the position of this point is at t equal to 0. At t equal to 0, this point starts from 1 0 and this point starts from 0 1. At t equal to 0, this is 0. When this is 0, it is e raised to 0, that is 1 0. When this is 0, it is e raised to j pi by 2, and e raised to j pi by 2 is the point on y-axis 0 1. So these are points with different starting position. So in general, when we multiply this phasor e raised to j omega t, we can multiply it by any number, let us say c, or sometimes a is also used, let it be a. So a e raised to j omega t. So if it is a e raised to j omega t, where this a can be either a real number or an imaginary number or a complex number. So if it is in general, we can consider it to be a complex number. When it is a complex number, in that case magnitude of this is a constant, it is not changing with time. A is constant, A doesn't change with time. So magnitude of A and angle of A. So magnitude of A will give you radius of the circle, angle of A will give you the initial position. So A e raised to j omega t is a e raised to j omega t plus angle A, right? Because this A you can represent as, say, capital R e raised to j phi also. So this would be R e raised to j omega t plus phi. So in general, phasor is a point rotating on a circle of some radius at fixed angular speed in anti-clockwise direction. If that speed is positive, it is anti-clockwise. If that is negative, we can say it to be clockwise. So e raised to j omega t represents anti-clockwise with value omega. If omega is positive, anti-clockwise. If omega is negative, it is clockwise on some circle of given radius and starting from angle phi. So at t equal to 0, angle is phi. So it is the starting point. So I think I tried my level best to explain concept of complex exponential to you. In the immediate next part, we will elaborate on further things.